For our final section in 6-3, we'll call it part 3, we're going to compare interquartile ranges. And probably before we do, we need a little refresher and reminder, and that's related to the quartiles themselves, or quarters. And so if we draw just a little picture here as a reminder, you notice that there are 4 sections. This section right here is the lower quartile. These 2 sections here, those are your interquartiles. And that means that the last section, that's your upper quartile. To continue with that refresher, let's just remind you that these are distributed into what they consider 4 equal sections, which means that each section is 25%, because a quarter is 25%. 25%, 25%, and that one right there is 25%. And that adds up to 100% total. So that's just a little refresher and reminder. Now let's go on down to this first question. It says the heights of high school athletes are shown below. Which type of athlete has a larger interquartile range? Okay, so we're really only looking at the 2 interior boxes, not the whiskers. And so we're looking at, for this one, right here, this section, okay? And those numbers for football, we find the range by subtracting the highest and the lowest, okay? And that would be 73 minus 63. And 73 minus 63 is 10. Let's look at the next one. And by the way, this is in inches if you haven't looked at the bottom. So for basketball, you have 76 minus 68. And when you subtract those, you get 8. So when we compare these, it's like, which type of athlete has a larger interquartile range? Well, that means that the spread of taller and shorter persons on the team is football, because it has a 10-inch spread versus the 8-inch spread in highest and lowest heights. All right, in inches. So football has the larger interquartile range, with 10 inches. There you go. Alrighty. Now let's move on down to the last one for the day. Number 6. The distribution midterm exam scores are shown below. Which gender had a larger interquartile range? So we want to know if it was the females or if it was the males. So in this particular case, we are once again looking at the range inside those 2 boxes, the interquartile range, and that's 50% of the entire set of data. So with this one, let's take a look. When we examine both of these, for the females, the high end of the interquartile range is 91, and the low end is 77. So 91 minus 77 is 14. Now let's look at the males. The high end, right here, is 88, minus the low end, or that's the lower quartile, is minus 75. And that is 13. So when you examine the 2, then the question said which gender had a larger interquartile range, the females had a larger interquartile range of midterm exam scores at a spread of 14 points. And I guess I should put interquartile above it because, yes, it was interquartile range. Interquartile range. With, what did we say, 14 points.